Hey guys, so I've had a request to see how the Suds saver works on this particular model. So when it comes to Suds savers, generally on Australian machines and more than likely on other American machines and whatnot, top loader machines that is, they have two drain hoses. Sorry, that's the backhoe just finishing off. These are the two drain hoses that come with the Hoover. All right. Now this is the Suds saver hose, and this is the main drain hose. Now you can see the main drain hose is down the drain port. So in Australia they have these laundry troughs, sinks, that are specially designed for Suds saver washing machines. They're called Suds saver sinks. So the idea is that you can hook your Suds saver hose over the edge of this trough, so that it collects the water from the wash. Look at you. So that it collects the water from the wash, and then it will switch over and drain the rest of the water out through the main drain hose. So it only does this on the wash, by the way, because it wants to save suds. So after the wash has finished, so when we get to here, it will initially drain through the Suds saver hose. Then halfway through, it will click over. You hear a big click, and it starts to drain through the main drain hose. And then for the rest of the cycle, it will just drain through that main drain hose because it's saved whatever suds it wants to save in the sink. So it saves an amount of sudsy water, that is. To return the suds, you just have to make sure that this Suds saver drain hose is positioned in the very bottom of this tub. You can use a hose retainer, which is up there, which I'm going to put on in a minute, and then you turn the dial round to the very top, which is usually marked as Suds Returned, and then you can return the suds. Now there's no special mechanism with this. All it does is turn the pump on for a minute, and then as long as that Suds saver hose is in the water, when the pump finishes, when it turns off, that pump will then start to siphon the suds back into the machine. So give me a second and I'll show you what I mean. All right, I'm back. So I've positioned that down into the base of the sink. And then what we're looking for now is to turn the Suds Return on. Oops. Why that did that then, but yeah. Oops. So all it's doing is pumping. It's not pumping back. You will see soon. Okay, that's the end of the Suds Return pump. So now, what it will slowly start to do is suck the water back. There you go. Hard to see in a stainless steel bowl, but it's definitely coming back. It's creeping up the side there. You can see it now creeping up the agitator. But that's basically how the Suds Return works. It works on the same principle with my Hoover 1400 large capacity model. But that only has one drain hose. It doesn't have a Suds Saver hose. But it still works on the same principle. So, hard to say how that's different internally, but the principle is exactly the same. As long as you've got the water, that pipe, see how much that water level's dropped? It's definitely drinking it back. Yeah, so that's basically how it works. Nothing too complex. I've seen other models of American type machines that actually physically seem to pump the water back. It might just throw the drain pump into reverse so that it's actually actively sucking the water back. But this is just a really simple concept of a simple siphon. You've just got to know how to work it. And that's drinking up as much as it can of that water. You can hear it now. Yeah, obviously if you had a greater volume it would suck, it would get rid of it would bring back a greater volume of water, but that's just the way that the Suds Saver works in these Hoover models. You know, just a way of saving water back in the day and saving soap. So there you go. Thanks very much, guys.